few things you're going to need before you do a clutch on your bike. You need the clutch cover gasket. Notice, unlike some dirt bikes, that you got to take the whole frickin' side case off. It's not just the clutch cover, which when I realized that, I was very disappointed because it makes the job from a half-hour job to a several-hour job. So there's that. You're going to need to replace your water pump gasket because you're going to have to take the impeller off. You're going to need clutch springs. And as long as you didn't have your clutch overly worn, you're going to need the new fibres. I'm not replacing the steels. Step 1. Grab a Ziploc bag and put some motor oil in it. Put your clutch in there, your new plates, and okay, I'm going to let that sit. So there, put my fibres, I'm just letting them soak there for a bit. So the next thing I did was I used a crayon to stencil the gasket because I've never done this job on this bike before, and if the screws that I take out of the case are different lengths, I'm going to lay them next to the holes on the gasket so I know where they go later. Dump your oil. If you don't know how to dump your oil, check out this video, click the link in the top right of the screen, and you can see the video on how to dump the oil. Okay, I've dumped the oil and I took it off the stand. Now you got to take off your skid plate. Alright, so my skid plate's off, so I'm going to take off this bolt, undo this spring, and then I'm going to pull the pedal out. Undo these two bolts and pull my foot peg off. And then I'm going to drain my impeller and remove this cover so that I can then take the plate off. And I'm also going to remove the clutch cable here. Alright, so now I've dropped my foot peg, and there's my brake, and I took off my clutch cable, which is right here now, so you can see that's all free. And I took off my water pump housing, and I'm going to remove the impeller. So I've already loosened this. It's a 10mm, so I'm going to take this off. Oops. Now I'm going to need both hands to take the impeller off. Good time to check it for cracks because it's prone to breaking on the KLR, so inspect it, and if it needs replacing, do it now. Okay, I've got my impeller off. Now I'm going to remove the clutch cover. Now when it comes off, we want to make sure that we don't damage the seal, so be careful when you pull this all off. Okay, I've taken all the bolts out of the side cover and I've laid them down on my template so I know where they go. And so we've got this cover here, and I'm gonna give it a wiggle. It's already loose. Oh, look how easy that's coming off. Nice. I'm gonna put the camera down, take this off. Alright, so here's your clutch. That gasket came off super clean. It's not recommended, but I may just attempt to reuse the existing gasket because I'm just that impressed at how well this came off. Take my nice new oil filter out. I don't know why I put it back in there. So I'll put that back here. There. Okay. There's my... I thought that was a thrust washer. Alright, so now I'm going to take my clutch off and then take the plates out. When you loosen these, loosen them in a star pattern. Just like you would lug nuts on a car. Alright, take your clutch pressure plate springs out, and then you're gonna measure them. Alright, the service limit for these is 1.46 inches, and the new size is 1.52 inches. So let's have a look here. So my springs have actually reached their service limit. unfortunately, the springs that my dealer sold me were the wrong ones, so I'm going to have to put these back in my bike until I can get the new ones from the dealer, because I don't want to leave my bike open. Take the cover off. Now I'm going to slowly take off my plate. So there's going to be a fiber, and then there's going to be a steel, and then there's going to be a fiber and a steel. So we're going to take them out, and then we're going to replace them with the new ones. So now that you have your clutch out, take your fibers, and you want to measure them. Your fiber should be between 114 and 122 thou, with a service limit of 108 thou. Now I measured mine, and I'm at 119 thou. There you go. So I'm at 119 thou. So that tells me my clutch problem has nothing to do with my fibers being worn. My steels are in good shape too. My clutch problems are because of my springs. So I can take my old clutch fibers and my old clutch steels, put them back into the clutch, and all I need to do is replace my springs. So I'm going to button everything back up. But before I do that, the KLR down here has an oil screen right here, and it's always a good idea to take it out and have a look and clean it out. So you'll see there's a bunch of crud in here. Looks like gasket material and some other stuff, so I'm going to clean this stuff out before I put it back in, before I put the engine back together. Okay, so I put my oil screen back in. So now I'm going to put my clutch back together. So I'm going to go fiber, steel, fiber, steel. You always start and end with a fiber. So fiber first, then the steel, fiber, steel till you're done. So I've got my pressure plate back on. I'm put in my springs. Now put in your bolts. You're going to tighten these to 87 inch-pounds. Okay? A little bit on each. I'm going to go over them a couple times. The engine cover has positioning dowels, 2 of them. Make sure they're still in. There is one right there. So make sure you still got those. Okay, when you put it in. Okay, my cover's on. So now you're going to go and tighten all the bolts down. I've finger tightened them, or just with my my driver, I just snugged them up. Now I'm going to tighten them with my torque wrench. 78 inch-pounds each. I'm going to do every second one and go around 2 or 3 times till they're all at 78 inch-pounds torque. So my impeller's back on. It is finger tight. Once again, 78 foot-pounds. For this, you may want to put your bike in gear and hold on the rear brake. So we'll see if just putting it in gear will give me enough tension to get that torqued. Otherwise, I'll have to put on my rear brake and my foot peg first, so that I can apply the rear brake so it doesn't want to spin, so I can get that torque down. So alright, so everything's back together. Time to put some oil in. Antifreeze is in, oil is in. Let it run. I had some antifreeze fill. It's okay, so let it run and cycle, and then I'll check all the fluids again. Alright, I ran my bike all the way up to full operating temperature. Shut it off so that my coolant is circulating properly, that the thermostat's open and it's all circulating, and check for leaks. I had one small leak. I had my coolant drain at the water pump wasn't torqued down properly, so I fixed that. So you can see the temperature drop now. There you go. Perfect. That's it. Thanks for watching.